Welcome back. Now, according to the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Dele Nsoba, in the last 10 years, coalition of allied countries constituted a task force with yet to be quantified logistics, human, political, and diplomatic costs to combat insecurity in the Arabian Gulf and the Gulf of Aden. Sadly, though, the Gulf of Aden has similar experiences. So does the Gulf of Guinea. And why this is so important is because West Africa depends to a large extent on the sea for transportation, food, trade, energy, and capital. And this is being threatened by a poor maritime culture, poverty, sea blindness, sea robbery, and of course, piracy. Crime on the Gulf of Guinea and other Nigerian waters and West African waters runs into several millions of dollars in losses. Opening the discussions, Nigeria's Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Dele Nsoba, and other speakers outlined the challenges to maritime security for Nigeria and the rest of the West African neighbors. They mentioned piracy and sea robbery as the biggest problems.
Others include weak regulatory institutions and legal frameworks on account of non-domestication of international rules and conventions acceded to by governments. Crude oil theft, unreported and unregulated fishing and poaching, drug and human trafficking and proliferation of small arms and light weapons are equally issues of serious concern.
You can see it from two perspectives, intrinsic and extrinsic. In the intrinsic dimension, you're actually looking at the natural integrity. When I mean natural, the way nature gave it to us. So in that case, you want to see the pristine quality of water as well as the issue of the marine resources. So if you're having cases of dumping of toxic waste or marine pollution like oil spills, definitely you are compromising the intrinsic dimension of maritime security. Because
gloomy as the pictures may seem, other stakeholders point out that the regional governments such as Nigeria are not sitting on their hands but working just as hard to control the issues, even using lessons learned from their experience in the Gulf of Aden.
For the domestic regime, we have the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency Act 2007, the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, is the regulator of the Nigerian maritime industry. And they have been working with the Navy, and I think other military institutions in the country to try to combat this. The Chief of Naval Staff has highlighted a lot of what has been done. And if we have solutions in the Gulf of Aden, and this is not a new phenomenon, it is not a Nigerian phenomenon, it is something that's happened before. Piracy has existed from time immemorial, from when man has gone to sea.
There has not only been a reduction in successful hijackings from the coast of Somalia, but also the number of attempts that pirates are making. So while in 2011 there were 199 incidents in the high-risk area of Somalia's coast, by the end of 2012, this figure had dropped by almost 2/3. Now, this success is really due to a combination of 4 factors. The first, I would say, is the international naval patrols in the area, and their increasing collaboration between each patrol to protect merchant shipping and to apprehend pirates. The second is the shipping industry's implementation of best management practices, which, as you know, are the guidelines detailing methods of protecting a vessel from attack.
They all agree that challenges to maritime safety on the Gulf of Aden were resolved with international help. But for the Gulf of Guinea, they emphasize that regional governments must show commitment with maritime laws and cooperation with one another and the international community.
Eliminating the problem will require strategies and initiatives that address onshore issues, which have perpetuated maritime insecurity. There are actions that can be taken by commercial shipping companies, by government agencies, by the Nigerian military, which is represented here today at a very senior level, and yes, by us, international Nigerian partners. The United States firmly believes that Nigeria can meet these challenges, and that is why we have supported and will continue to support national and regional efforts to improve maritime security in the Gulf of Guinea.
It is easy to sit in a comfortable environment to discuss the way forward, but commitments will only be seen when implementation of recommendations begin.